Welcome. Are you a parent or a guardian or a carer who has just packed off their student to university or college? Are you suffering from empty nest? Welcome. You're in the right place. My name is Cai Graham. I'm a parenting expert, and it is my mission to support you, parents, so that you can support your children, so that together we can build a mentally healthier generation, a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people. And this is the last episode in the sort of off to uni series, off to college series, and it's all about the empty nest syndrome. And if you're watching this, this might be quite close to your heart. How are you coping? How are you doing? Oh, been there, done that. I still suffer from empty nest, and my kids are 24 and 26. Breaks my heart every time they come and then they go again. But that's what it is. That's the price of success, isn't it? That's what being a parent is all about. If you love them, then set them free. And yeah, then once they've gone, you can go and rock in the corner and feel sorry for yourself. But only then. Not in front of the children, please. So your little one, your angel, has packed off their hopes and dreams, and they're in a new part of the country, possibly. Definitely not, well, maybe they're living in the house, but you're probably not watching this if they are. So let's assume that your little angels have flown the nest. It might be for the first time. Can I just say that actually, in all fairness, it's usually harder on you than it's going to be on them, because you're back to, forgive me, same shit, different day, and they are embarking on an adventure. In the previous episode, episode 3, I was actually addressing the students and sort of saying that this was, some of them might be struggling, but saying that this is an opportunity for them to reinvent themselves, for them to find new things to do. And then that's lovely, Kai. Yeah, that's great, but I'm left at home with the dog. Well done. You've done what you needed to do. You've set them free. So here you are. And I see a lot of parents who sort of say, and I remember my kids both left at the same time, actually. So there was no child left behind. It's just me, my husband, and an empty house. And I said to him, which I'm going to touch on, he was less affected than I was. And I went, but the whole soul of the house is gone. And he went, well, thanks for that. But I just felt that there was no chatter, there was no background noise, there was no screeching, there was no hairdryer in the background, there was no, banter. Because Mike was out at work, as was I, but it was just different. And many parents go, I still sort of sit in their room and sort of it's now empty. Yeah, okay, well, that's not really going to work for you, is it? Really? Dwelling on it is not really going to work. So I've got a suggestion on how to sort yourself out if you're dwelling and feeling a bit isolated, mopey, depressed, or whatever it is. There are benefits to your child leaving home. You probably have a fuller fridge. You probably have less laundry. You probably know where your phone chargers are. You probably don't have to keep on chauffeuring them around any longer. There are many, but the thing is that something's changed and it's very, very different. And it's how you cope with that as a parent. There are possibly new opportunities. Maybe you're going to have a hell of a lot more time on your hand. Maybe, your child is meeting new people and going out and being busy and so I encourage you to do the same. If you've got too much time on your hand, then go out and do what I said in episode 3. I said to the students, go and reinvent yourself. You too can do the same. I did that. Just when I realised I had about a year's grace, I realised that Jack and Alice were going to be leaving the house within a fortnight of each other. Blimey. And Mum and Bear didn't really know how she was going to cope with that. So I started putting everything into action, and I created a business. It was probably more than, it was probably about 18 months. I created a business so that when I had an empty nest, I would have something to fall back on. Because prior to that, I was a stay-at-home mum. And I knew that before, if my kids were going to leave within a fortnight of each other, oh my God, that was going to be a massive shock to me. So I created a new business. And that was absolutely fine. And it filled that hole. It filled that empty nest hole, because I was able to focus on something totally different. So maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to find something different. I don't know, take up golf, or maybe do an art class, or get a job, or create a business, or do whatever, go traveling, whatever works for you. But know that in the end there is going to be a gap. Now, okay, you might go, oh God, Kai, thanks a lot, but I've got other kids at home. You do have other kids at home. And do you know what? I've seen this quite a lot recently, which I'm quite surprised at, is that the parents many parents are struggling to adjust. I mean, some people, some parents love it, but some parents are struggling to adjust that they forget the children that are left behind. And those children, the siblings, are struggling too. That's hard. Suddenly a big part, and not necessarily, your kids don't necessarily have to have got on brilliantly for this to have an impact. But I have seen many siblings struggle because their older brother or sister has gone away, and they don't know how to cope. They don't know, they struggle. Because maybe they're the only child left in that. I mean, I experienced this as well. When my brother went away to boarding school and I was left at home, and suddenly I was under the microscope, and it was shit. And suddenly, not always in a good way, because I had nowhere to hide. I missed him dreadfully. So I'd lost my soulmate, I'd lost my buddy, but now everything I did was being analysed more. And it was crap. And my parents didn't understand, because I didn't have the emotional intelligence to tell them how rubbish I was feeling because my brother had left. So if you are a parent who is struggling a bit because one of your kids has just gone to university, please just pay attention. And this sounds really patronising, but pay attention to the other one, or the others. Because they're definitely going through a period of readjustment as well, as are you. So, yeah. So let's say you have dropped off your child, and hopefully, if you looked at previous episodes, you've armed them with the coping strategies that they need, you've armed them with the practicalities they need, and you've armed them with the box of donuts. Episode 2. Episode 2. So they're on their journey. What I do suggest is plan something for you, or if indeed you need to, the rest of your family, to do the day or a couple of days after. It could be a family holiday. It could be, well, you've all dropped off your child and now you want to go and visit the city that you've dropped them off in. Or maybe you want to throw a party. Or maybe you want to go to your favourite restaurant, or, just something to fill that gap. Plan something after drop-off day that the rest of the family can enjoy and look forward to. Because that's so, so important. Just one point. If you are struggling, caigraham.com/FB group, Facebook group. I have a group which is called Parents Teen Toolbox. CaiGraham.com/book, which has got lots of stuff that will help you whilst you're going through adolescence, or whilst your kids are going through adolescence. But come and join the Facebook group, because it is full. It's a community of parents who are wanting the very best for their kids. And it could be, it's through puberty and beyond, adolescence and young adulthood. And it's a community of parents who get it, who get what you're going through. You might be sitting there sobbing into your pint or sobbing into your cup of tea, stroking the dog or the cat, thinking, I am miserable because my baby has left. And your other half might be going, yay, they've left. And it's hard. I remember, as I said, Mike wasn't really that affected as much as I was when the kids left, because he still had his day job. He still had, I worked from home, so my home is my office. So when the kids weren't there, it was like night and day. Now for Mike, it wasn't, because he was away at work the whole time. So he never really saw the empty house as much as I did. And he was just thinking, oh no, sure, they'll be grand, they're having a lovely time. And I'm going, yeah, but I'm not. So your other half, if indeed there is another half, might not be feeling the same as you do. And that's okay. We do. And so don't get cross with them when they just sort of go, oh, sure, they'll be grand. Because they will be, and they're probably being more practical than you are. You might be maybe too emotionally invested in it. I read something in The Guardian the other day, the weekend, that said something along the lines of, could all the empty nesters who are weeping and wailing please get over themselves? Because actually it's not about them, it's about their kids. And actually that was quite right. This new adventure is all about your child, but I totally get it. I totally get that mixed bag of emotions. But you can look after yourself and prepare yourself in order to minimise the impact it's going to have on you. And so what do we do as our family shrinks and there's still a void there and you feel as though it's never going to be the same again? Well, it's not really. But that's the way it should be. You don't want your kids still at home at the age of 38 raiding the fridge. Really you don't. That's not healthy for anyone. So what is important, and how can you get around this? Number one, I've got 6 points for you to cling to, is routine is really important. Not only for you, but also if you've got other kids in the house. So yeah, they'll be going back to school, so stick with that. Routine is so important. Still have meal times and still take the dog for a walk and still do all the things that you always did when you were I was going to say complete family. That doesn't sound right, does it? But when you were a full family living at home. So stick to your routines. And don't let bedtime slide for the younger ones. And, because we still need the boundaries. Kids thrive on boundaries. And if you're losing it and sort of giving them too much slack, it's not going to end well. People will get tired. People will get angsty. Grades will start slipping. So, yeah, just keep going. Same old, same old. But amongst all that, have fun. Make sure you do nice stuff for you and the rest of the family. Maybe go bowling. Maybe do something different that you didn't normally do. Maybe, I don't know, go to whatever. Maybe if you haven't done bowling, do go bowling. Or do family movie nights or whatever. But try and do stuff as a family just to prove to the other whoever's left behind, that this is business as usual. Yes, it's changed, but it can, we can adjust and we can get through this and we can do other things, just so the other siblings don't feel as though the family's fallen apart because one child's not there any longer. Because the other siblings count as well. And I might be teaching Granny how to suck eggs, but I'm amazed how I still see families struggling at Christmas time. Oh, I can't wait, they're coming back for the holidays. And the younger ones are going, but I've always been here. What about me? So just remember that. Talk to your student that is away. In episode 2, I was talking about that, about setting up communication expectations. So that's really, really important. But also for the other kids, so that, talk to them and say, God, this is shit, isn't it? Or how are you feeling? Or are you loving it? Some kids are loving it because they've got the room to themselves. Or they're able to watch their own movies. Or that now they can use the PlayStation or the Xbox without big brother or sister monopolising it. So, it works both ways. Totally. But talk about it and just don't sort of shut everything down just because you might be struggling. Keep that line of communication open. Come and join caigraham.com/FB group. Just whatever. And as I said, 1, routine is important. 2, have fun. 3, talk. But do chat to your student. Number 4, make sure you are able to talk to your student as often as they want you to, not as often as you want them to. You might sort of think, I need to speak to them every day. As the Guardian reporter said, it's not all about you. You've got to be guided by them now. But I would say maybe once a week or once a fortnight, have a video chat so you can just make sure they're all right. And don't sit there and sob and, I'm missing you so much, because that ain't going to help anyone. But just be calm, confident and supportive. But the great thing about video is that you can look at them and see if they are telling the truth, that yes, they are having a nice time, yes, they are surviving, because that's important. Number 5, make home life a focus. So that all of you left at home don't feel as though it's all gone to hell in a handcart. So do have movie nights. Do make sure that, still invite Granny around for Sunday lunch or whatever. Make that home life, make that nucleus just as strong as before that your student left. Because otherwise it's really destabilising for the other kids. Or indeed, if you're just on your own, or if you and your other half, whatever. But make sure that the family is still has its focus, still has its nucleus, because it's very easy to have a wobble when one part of the family disappears. Not forever, but do you know what I mean? So focus on doing family stuff and coming together as a family and communicating as a family. And finally, be kind to yourself. Be kind to anyone else that's struggling. Because this is a big period of adjustment. There are going to be highs and lows in emotions. And, suddenly it might be their birthday. Oh, they're not here. Or, it's... I remember come Christmas time, I was going, oh my God, I miss them terribly. So I sent advent calendars to all the kids in Alice's corridor and all the kids in Jack's corridor, and it's only about 5 or 6. And I sent them advent calendars to say Happy Christmas, and I bet can't wait to see you all, or can't wait to see you, and you bet your parents. And Jack went, oh my God, we're far too old to that. And I got loads of texts back going, thank you so much. You don't realise what that means, because it's just familiarity. Kids aren't too old for chocolate. Yeah, it was chocolate advent calendars. But, just be kind to one another. Because, yes, this is a period of readjustment. I've just come back off holiday, having been with Alice. And it sucks. But that's the way it is. How lovely that, we can still do that. But be kind to yourself. Don't have massive expectations and think you have to soldier on. Remember, routine, have fun, talk to people, chat to your student, chat to your child. Focus on your home life and be kind to yourself. I know it's not all about you, but it's also not all about your student who has just left. It's maintaining that balance so that the family can grow and adjust and still thrive. That's what you want. You want to be able to thrive so that when your child comes back for the holidays, it's still that wonderful unit that they left, so that they can just come back to their sanctuary. So let me know any comments. Just please get in contact. If you're struggling, please get in contact. Come and join the group if you're a parent. But it is a period of readjustment. It does take a while. If you like this episode, and if you haven't seen any of the previous ones in this series, please go back and have a look. All the description, or all the links are in the description. But subscribe, press the bell so that you get notified when my videos are broadcast. Every Tuesday there's a new one coming out. It will be lovely to have you on board. But don't forget that it is my mission to help you parents so that together we can build a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people. That's what it's all about. Much love, and I'll speak to you soon.